Hi, welcome to eRacing GP. It's Global Edition. We're on the American tracks. My name's Alex Young, and next to me here is Amo Hazik. And we're here in KL. So, we are doing the American tracks. It's the final round, round 6 of the Global Edition. We have the bronze class, copper class, silver class, gold class. We've got 4 classes to go, and we're going to start with the copper class. So we're just going to go straight into it. Running a tiny bit late, so we'll go with the championships of what the copper class looks like. So we see Francis Matrillo is leading the championship at the moment, and it looks quite close at the top. Now in this championship we do drop points, and as we come to the last round, let's have a look at the top 3 once we take their worst scores so far in the championship. And you do that, it is super close. Matrillo drops a few points to 123 points. Thiago Olivera actually is second, 117, and Zetric Arate is 116 points. But Zetric has a qualifying ban today, so he'll start at the back of race 1. So it's really going to be tough for Arate to get to the front of the race in race 1, and it's really at the moment it's looking good for Matrillo and Olivera. Just a quick note on the Nations Cup. You can see the Nations Cup, Philippines is leading, Singapore second. These are points that you accrue across all 4 classes. Now over to the Teams Cup. Sim Racing Philippines has a healthy lead, and it's going to be hard to see them losing the championship at this point. They are looking very strong indeed. So Amo, back to the practice session. We're getting to the end of it now. We're at Indianapolis, a track you like.
Oh yeah, definitely. In fact, the oval is the one that I really like the most because it's home of the Indianapolis 500, of course, as you can see in the background there. Unfortunately, we're not going to be using that particular route, but we'll be using the road course that was made famous by Formula 1, of course, or rather infamous, we can also say, because of the incidents back in 2005. Yeah, it's still one of the most recognizable circuits in America, and if not the world actually, because everyone knows it for the 500 and for the former home of the US Grand Prix. So looking forward to this. It's going to be a bit tight in the infield section, and it's going to be fast when they come around to the banking and to the start finish line. Yeah,
so Matrillo is actually quickest at the moment, and you can see the famous pit buildings on the left there, the stands. Indianapolis, the Indy 500, well not this year obviously, but about 500,000 people watching in one go. That's pretty insane, isn't it?
Yeah, half a million people can pack out the stands, including the infield, the infamous mosh pit, we can call it, because there's a lot of things that happen in between there. But yeah, it is a very spectator-friendly circuit. You can see a lot of good vantage points, especially on the circuit. We can pass the pagoda on that side, the most famous structure on the circuit as well. So really, it's an absolutely fabulous circuit.
Okay, well, we're about to start qualifying now, and let's just ride with Francis Matrillo. This is the championship leader. We'll follow him for the whole lap. Emma, why don't you take us for a lap around the track?
Alright, here we go. So coming around to turn 13, we're not going through to the extra infield section that was used recently for IndyCar and MotoGP. We come around through the banking here to start the lap around Indianapolis. About 200 to 230 kilometers per hour here in the Aquila, which it can't hit any higher than that. I think, yeah, there we go. 230 is just topping out almost past 230 before coming to the first corner. Oh, he stopped the lap.
Well, stop the lap. Let's try and follow someone else, and let's see how the New Zealander driver Thiago Olivera is doing.
And here he is, hopefully for a lap proper before being promptly stopped before he returns back to the pits. Here we go through the first and second corners. Big slide, and again, it's like we had to abort this one. We had to wait for someone who can actually do a proper lap around the circuit.
Yeah, so it's the championship drivers. They're all getting down to the pressure a bit, making some mistakes. Let's look at Arate. Shouldn't be out there. He's got a qualifying ban, so we'll come back to that in a second.
Oh, well, it has been unfortunate. I think he should probably have been knowing the fact that if he had a qualifying ban, he shouldn't be out of here right now. But whatever it is, we'll just follow him around here.
Well, he'll end up getting his times taken away and penalized as well. Let's go back to the championship leader though. Matrillo though, looking good through the infield section, coming to the end of sector 1. This is a real tricky section to drive, isn't it, Amo?
Yeah, indeed. In fact, the fact that the car can easily step out, well, he cuts the crowds a lot there. Don't know if they allow that in the track limits. But that particular section, it's a long parabolic turn. It's not like the parabolica in Monza, but it's still quite long. It's like you're waiting to get on the power. You could easily just spin it if you put on the power too early. But he held it well, cut a bit of grass there, and through the infield section, which has been changed from the last one that you raced here, Alex, in 2002.
Yeah, I was very lucky to race here twice, race in 2001 and 2002. Yeah, I like this track. The infield section gets a little bit tricky, a bit finicky. But yeah, this long blast through this last corner here, onto the start-finish straight. Really, really lots of opportunities to overtake here.
And now through the banking, and of course, we talked about 2005 earlier. We saw how the cars here go flat out. There's no braking here. And there was a reason why 2005 became infamous, because of Ralf Schumacher. As we see, Matrillo crosses the line, and he takes provisional pole by 400s ahead of Kong. Yeah, going back to 2005, we saw how Ralf Schumacher hit there two seasons in a row, to be honest, 2004 and 2005. He whacked the barrier. First time he got slightly injured. Second time, he actually had to bow out the race, and that's what happens when the Michelin tires, they couldn't handle the banking, and the Michelin runners had to pull out. So we had an embarrassing situation for Formula 1 where only 6 cars started. That's hence why 2005 was basically F1 almost dying in America, to be honest.
Yeah, it was. It's got a new home now. Obviously, they are racing in Texas, Austin, Texas, and I tell you what, that's a great event as well. But lots of other cars drive here. Some of I think the Indy cars do the road track sometimes.
Yep.
I think they do bikes. There's a bike track here as well, isn't there?
Yeah, they run MotoGP, but backwards from where we're running here today. Yeah, it's kind of weird when we say that, oh, MotoGP runs almost like the Indy 500, when in actuality they run the road course backwards. So it's kind of like a weird configuration. Yes, it can run both ways, but for some of us at a certain time period, we actually grew up watching cars going this way for the road course. But nonetheless, yeah, it's a multi-purpose facility. It can run other than the Indy cars and MotoGP. It also runs NASCAR, the Brickyard 400, which also uses the oval like the Indy 500, the Indianapolis Grand Prix cars. Sorry, the Indy cars. As we now see Matrillo now come across the line. What's he gonna do? Oh, and he goes pole position by 2,000ths this time of his previous time. So he increases the gap only slightly, but it's almost gonna secure him 5 points here, unless some of his other championship rivals can actually outdo him.
Yeah.
Through then, again, Matrillo starts another lap. I think he has enough time. Yeah, he does. So a minute and 30 to go, and he has to do a minute 30 to beat his time. Sure enough, he is gonna try it and beat it anyway, even though pole position looks more than secured as he comes around to the tricky Mickey Mouse section. Now, right here, this section is not used anymore because the current circuit actually bypasses this through 5 and 6. There's a short kink right about here. This is where the current circuit now runs, as he actually goes wide a bit here, and he's gonna stop. Yep, he's gonna abort this lap. A lot of changes to the circuit, despite the fact that this is quite a relatively new section. It was built in 2000 for the United States Grand Prix. But a lot of changes have happened here for the last 8 race, Alex.
Yeah, there have been. That's some small. It does look a little bit different. Trillo now, the end of sector 1. Looks like he's down a bit. Time's not coming up. Shall we look at some of the other drivers? Let's see how Olivera is doing. He's 7/10 down at the moment, and this is a man under pressure. He's not. I don't know if he's got enough time to finish his lap.
No, I don't think so.
But this was the man challenging for the championship, and he's down in position 4 at the moment. That's really gonna. It's going to be tough to, he's getting a wiggle there now, so he's really going to struggle to get onto the front row.
And he got a big, massive oversteer there coming onto the curb, so he might have gained a bit of time, but ultimately his exit was poor, and then unfortunately now, time is his enemy, and he's not going to start any better than 4th place. He will still get 2 points on the board, but Matrillo will get the biggest haul of points here in qualifying, and he's got the early advantage.
Yeah, Matrillo is championship leader. Doing a really good job there. James Kong, No Regrets Racing. I love that name. In 2nd position from Singapore. Sri Murugan in 3rd. Jag Olivera, championship contender in 4th position. Peter Dutoit in 5th. Nafa Ahmad, that's a great job by him to be in position 6. And Rangy Rover from, I think it was Australia, in 7th.
Wow. Well, it wasn't an intense qualifying session. We saw an avalanche, to say the least. Matrillo just swept the pole. But that's qualifying. The race is not a matter, and the championship's still up for grabs here.
Yes, it is. The championship is still up for grabs. Let's just have a come back to us. 30 seconds to see the drivers now go from the pit lane into the start grid. We'll try and follow the drivers as we go. We'll try and follow. Obviously, look at the front, see who's going quickly. Thiago Olivera, though, in P4, he really got a big job to do, hasn't he? So the red lights are on. When they go off, we'll be underway, and we are go. Poor start there by the fellow front row starter there, James Kong. But Matrillo, really, really good start. Muhammad Ilyas there must have just got up there in qualifying, must have just done a lap towards the end, so he's on the front row as well. Ilyas going down the inside, oh, it's going to be really close, not quite able to make it, but out in front. Yes, no, Ilyas does hold, oh, but he goes wide there. And it looks like Sri Murugan's at the front now.
Well, he's driving a different car as he usually does, but there we go. Is this Murugan or Ilyas? Because I'm pretty sure Murugan still drives the same colors that we've been seeing over the past season. But whatever it is, is Ilyas still leading? Second is Matrillo, and third is Olivera. So I think Ilyas might have been just a bug, but
I think the leaderboard's wrong. It's Murugan in front, Matrillo in second. Don't ignore the leaderboard. I think the leaderboard's just catching up with us. So he's disappeared from the timing screens actually. Third position though, Olivera. He's right behind the championship leader at the moment, so that's good to see those two together on the track.
And we got someone spinning in the background at around turn 7, but we don't know who that was because we are seeing some drivers still the leaderboard trying to shove itself back in order. We finally got it. It is Murugan who leads. That is a brilliant start from Sri Murugan. Second is Matrillo, and third is Olivera. So the championship contenders, second and third, right behind each other as the dark horse in this race and indeed this season. Though unfortunately he can challenge for the title, but he will love to go sign off this season with a win. He's leading right now. Sri Murugan.
Yeah, Murugan, really good job. He's been a bit up and down this year. Well, not always, pretty much most of the time quickest on the weekly leaderboards. So you do have to set a time on the weekly leaderboards to qualify for each race. Murugan's always there, but just sometimes not able to produce the goods when he wants to. But I tell you what, he certainly is now, and he's doing a great job to lead from the front.
And a bit of a cut there at the first corner. I don't know whether or not the track limits allow that because a lot of drivers were doing it, but nonetheless no one's getting warnings for that. It's still Sri Murugan who leads here coming into turn 6. It's a bit stringed out here. I'm surprised that the gap between the drivers is this spread out because Indianapolis, the road course at least, normally provides very close racing, but in this case it's different. Right now Murugan's having the early advantage, but the top 5 are still within earshot. Yeah,
it is kind of strange. Just mentioned that. Look at Murugan checking his rearview mirrors. But yeah, he's got Francis Matrillo there. Pulling out a gap though. Matrillo now 1 second off. Thiago Olivera just there in third position. And Peter Dutoit in fourth position. Looking good there. Fifth position, Naufal Ahmad. New driver really with us from Indonesia. And he's really improving nicely. Up in position 5.
Yeah, one of the many Indonesian talents that have come through this championship. We saw, of course, one of the greatest exponents from that country is Andika Ramamalana. He'll be racing later in IndyCars, I think, barring if he had any conflicting schedules. There's a battle for the lead here. Looks like Matrillo's on the back of Murugan. No DRS in these cars. He's trying to defend there. Murugan is on the inside, and Matrillo on the outside, coming to turn 1. Well, who's going to get the line here? Definitely we're going to say Murugan because he has the inside line. He will definitely get it coming into the first corner.
Yeah.
And he does.
Wow.
Murugan holds on to the lead, but Matrillo now right at the bumper, and so is Olivera. So whatever Murugan did wrong in that previous lap, it has bunched up the top 3 together quite nicely.
Yeah, so kind of Murugan there defending a little bit too much. I think he was way too narrow. He could have afforded to get a little bit wider, but still managed to hold on the position. That's the main thing. Doesn't matter if it's a little bit messy. Thiago Olivera going a bit wide there in position 3 in the blue car. But Matrillo, nicely. He looks like he's stalking his prey. You know, he's hitting the apex as the cars around him are not looking quite as clean. But Matrillo in P2 there's, you just think it's a matter of time, don't you, before he makes another move on Murugan.
Indeed. And the fact that, because we can see that the slipstream here is so powerful, considering the fact that the straight, this is the home of the Indianapolis 500 and is known for slipstreaming. He's definitely going to get move done around there, unless Murugan makes a mistake in the infield that allows Matrillo to overtake him. But right now, Murugan's under severe pressure for Matrillo. Matrillo that goes onto the grass a bit in the infield. We're on the apron in the pit lane for the oval as we coming out to the final corner. The big banking oval here was not as big as some other speedways like Daytona, but it is big enough to see the cars lean a bit coming into the start-finish line as Murugan there hugs the inside line, past the Briata brakes, coming to the first corner. Murugan still holds the same line. This is going to be a bit of a deja vu between the two drivers. We saw this happen before, and it's going to happen again. Murugan holds the inside, and oh, he outbrakes inside this time. Matrillo takes the lead. And that was an easy move there for Matrillo. He didn't have to do much. He just had to wait and see if Murugan actually made a mistake, and he does. And now Matrillo is bound to actually start, whereas Olivera, who was in third, has dropped to fourth right behind Regal Peter Dutoit. So something happened there to a fellow championship contender, and now he's seeing his championship slip away here because his other rival is leading the race.
Yeah, so good job there by Matrillo. Really just swept around the not around the outside, allowed Murugan to make the mistake. Like we talked about earlier on the lap before, Murugan was defending way too much to the inside. You really want to try and squeeze up to your opponent when you're defending like that, to try and give yourself the best chance of the line through the corner, but he was way too narrow. So I wasn't surprised to see him outbrake himself. So now Matrillo's through. It looks like it's going to be really hard to catch the championship leader. Championship leader looks like he's extending that gap nicely. Murugan at the moment, he runs wide onto the grass, and that's going to cost him some time as well. And look, behind Murugan, Peter Dutoit has also found a way through past Olivera. So Olivera now drops back to P4.
Wow, wait. And the fact that we didn't see it on the camera, sorry if the viewers saw it, but we didn't. But Olivera then, who was in a promising position to stay right behind Matrillo, has fallen further behind. Now he has to do a lot more work in the remaining 9 minutes that he has left to try and stop Matrillo from clinching the championship in this very race.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. There's still the reverse race to come. Olivera needs to try and get some more points, try and put some more pressure, because if he falls another place or two backwards, then I think Matrillo might be crowned champion.
Yep, where is Ginelli Cruz actually? Because that's his main championship, his chief championship rival in this particular race. He's in 12th. And he actually just dropped another position. Yeah, so Cruz, once you consider drop points, actually, he's in 4th in the championship at the moment when you take into fact drop points. But yeah, he's out of it now. He's down to position 16. That's going to be very hard for him to recover from. The other, Zetric Arate is up there in 7th position, but I think he's going to get disqualified from this race because he took part in qualifying, because there was a qualifying ban that he had to serve. So, it's really down between Matrillo and Olivera. And at the moment, there we go. Matrillo just going out of shot, leading comfortable. And Olivera in the blue car in position 4. He's the man, really, that needs to make a move on. And if he can't make a move on, then it looks like it's going to be Matrillo's title. As we see now, the Suez decision. Razdan Zamri gets a stop-and-go penalty for overtaking under yellow. So we've seen a few times here over the season how drivers, when there's a yellow flag in front, they overtake. And if it got to slow a bit, because the penalty will be given to them if they don't adhere to it, and here's another victim of that. As now, Olivera gets a good run coming out of turn 14. We see Andrew Kadrolakis gets a drive-through penalty, not a stop and go. He comes into the inside. He's going to come into the inside here, coming to the first corner. Will he? No, he's too far away to make a move on Peter Dutoit. Dutoit didn't have to do any defending there. He knows that Olivera was just too far to make a move at turn 1. Yeah, Olivera, good job. Looking close, putting on some pressure. Obviously, we missed the mistake he made earlier on, that we gave up P3 to Dutoit. But yeah, so the pressure is on the New Zealander. We got 6.5 minutes to go. Let's have a look at him. He must be getting cold in New Zealand. Look at what he's wearing. But whoa, he's going to try and go around the outside. Oh, gets a slide. Nice idea, but really, really hard to go on the outside of that right-hander, because it really does. You really need to be on the inside there. Looking a bit cold in New Zealand at the moment. I'm loving the jumper he's wearing. I'm totally distracted by it. And Murugan also making some mistakes and falling back into the clutches of Peter Dutoit. Yep. Also the fact that with this battle going on, the guy in 5th, which is Nabil Ahmad, he's going to get a good run out of these 3 and a run for the podium if any one of these drivers were to collide with each other or spin out. But here comes Olivera again. He comes onto the banking through turn 14. He could try and make a move at this time because he is much closer than he was last time. Right into the rear wing. And will Peter Dutoit go into the inside? No, he doesn't. Surprisingly, he doesn't defend that position as hard as Murugan would. As now, because Dutoit himself actually has the slipstream from Murugan as they all 3 come to the first corner. There goes Matrillo out of shot. He's well in the lead, 2.6 seconds. As no one makes the move this time. Murugan didn't have to do the defending that hard this time either. So the positions stay as they were, but I think it's gonna change in the space of the next 5 minutes. Yeah, Dutoit though, it's looking really close battle there. He's all over the back of Murugan. Has a little bit of lag, I feel, the Vietnamese driver. You can see his car twitching a little bit. Will he look to the inside? Oh, no, decides not to.
perhaps had a thought about it, but yeah, it's a good idea to jump out of that move, I feel. Nice on the apex there. He's going to get a good exit onto the back straight. He's not really close enough to have a look though. And all the time, Ahmad in 5th position in the white and blue cars closing in on these 3.
Yep. And yeah, Murugan's a bit of a cork in the bottle here at the moment. We saw that he had the initial pace. In fact, that was it was a blinding start to take the lead. But unfortunately, his race pace has failed him for this particular race. He will not claim the win, but he will definitely love it to actually sign off the race 1 in proper qualifying positions in 2nd. Barring if anyone can overtake him. Oh, that slide, I think that was an actual slide. That was not lag. Because the transition between the apron and the banking is really, really severe. We heard some drivers complain that, said before, the suspension might be damaged here, but I've not seen so far any sort of problems between these cars, probably because the damage is low. But either way, here comes the drivers into the first corner. Again, Murugan onto the inside. Dutour on the outside. He's got the line. He's actually slightly ahead coming in. And Murugan again does the same mistake. He loses 2nd and he loses 3rd. He is now in 4th, and Dutour doesn't have to do much. He just had to hold his line, and he comes out to 2nd. Now Olivera, who's in 3rd, will have a chance to get 2nd by the end of this race to actually at least score points and prevent Matrillo from winning the championship here. But it might be too little too late. The points might just be enough maybe.
Yeah. And first of all, he's also got to get past Peter Dutour. Peter Dutour, another of these drivers who's always been quick in the Copper class, but maybe hasn't been maximizing his results. So he'll be very desperate to try and finish on the podium today. Murugan, though, another mistake. He's dropping into the clutches of Ahmad in that battle for 4th position now. Yeah, he'll be... we always have to remember that he's very inexperienced still very new to the sport, and he will learn. A little bit further back, Kelvin Pao there, Arjuna Santa, just ahead in position 7. But I want to look at this battle between Janelli Cruz and Rangy Rover. This has been going on for quite a while now. Janelli Cruz in 13th. He was firmly in the top 10, but he had a mistake or maybe got touched or something, and he's just gone all the way to the back. Rangy Rover there, he's looking really focused. Watch him on the bottom right.
Yeah.
Coming through the last corner, he's gonna see if he's close enough to get a run. He's not really close enough to get a run at the moment. And in fact, wow, now the slipstream's starting to happen, isn't it, Ammo?
Yep, indeed, Alex. And the fact that, again, the slipstream is powerful through the banking, but you have to consider the fact you had to be at least 2/10 of a second behind the driver to get a close enough slipstream to make any inroads to the driver in front. As you can see there, Rover, he gets onto the inside. He had that 2/10 of a second gap to make the move, and will he make it? Oh, he slides in! He spins coming to the first corner, and he completely loses it, and nearly takes out Janelli Cruz, who in fact was even further by. He was in 16th. He made his way up here to 13th. A bit of a rookie mistake there. He lost the backhand because he just tried to push the anchors way too hard, and the rear steps out. Luckily for him, he didn't lose too much time. He could still get into the back of these guys within the next 2 minutes. But that was a move that was had gone begging. Yeah,
just stoic look and concentration on the face of Rover there. But yes, good action there. A little bit further up, just can tell you there's been a big battle between Sri Murugan and Ahmad. Ahmad actually got through. Murugan's managed to retake the position and holds on to 4th position at the moment. But oh look, Ahmad there is going low through the last corner. But maybe he might be close enough to the end of the straight.
And he went through a bit of grass cutting there, Murugan, almost Valtteri Bottas style in Austria, to get the car around to the final sector of the lap. And he managed to get by Ahmad out of our cameras into 4th, and he will have to do more defending here as the driver is now provisionally, I think, this will be the final lap of the race, lap 10, and it's been a pretty good one. But in terms of the championship, game, it's been a really, really good one for Matrillo. There's no one that has been challenging him at the front since the start of the race. Yeah,
Francis Matrillo drove a fantastic race. Didn't get the start he wanted, dropped down a second, but recovered nicely to take the lead. Peter Dutour, though, holding off 2nd position from Thiago Olivera, so that's a great drive for him. Sri Murugan, running wide a little bit, allowing Ahmad to get closer to him, but manages to just recover the position for now.
It is, and he's been driving so high. I think the tires might have failed him because due to the fact that he was literally driving the wheels of that car. He did a lot of counter steering and oversteering, and might have scrubbed too much grip out of those tires. But nonetheless, 4th place will be a good return for him, despite the fact that he could have won the race if he kept it together.
I think I have to look at the championship, but I think you're right. I mean, first for him, we'll give him 25 points, and he's got pole position and fastest lap, I believe. So that is going to give him the championship. Oh, he won't get fastest lap, actually. Thiago Olivera's got fastest lap. But Francis Matrillo crosses the line to win race 1 of round 6. And we'll have to consult with our timing. In second position, Peter Dutoit in second, and Thiago Olivera in third. And I think Matrillo will be crowned champion with one more race to go of round 6.
Provisionally, of course, we still have to confirm whether or not Cruz, he finished 12th. I think he will get some points there. It might not be enough to overhaul Matrillo, but we need to confirm first whether or not he did. But nonetheless, it was a great drive from him from start to finish. He made his chance count, pressured Murugan into the mistake, and he got him. This is the race. This was the champion's drive, in all honesty. Yeah,
it was. Matrillo, really, really good job. I'm pretty sure he's got the championship now. We have a reverse grid race coming up. I think for this race it's top 16 which are reversed. Not positive about that. I can't remember what I put in the server. But Matrillo there, great drive. And well done.
And of course, shout out to Peter Dutoit as well for giving Olivera a heck of a race. He managed to still hold on to second. I don't know why the gaps are even between Olivera and Murugan. I think across the line they were just a few tenths in it coming into the line. But yeah, Dutoit also made his move count when he pressured Murugan into the same mistake, into the same move, and moved out second. Held on to the pressure well from Olivera to still finish just about shy of 2 seconds behind Matrillo, who was dominating the race all the way. And then Olivera, he could have actually overhauled Matrillo here, but unfortunately for him, it didn't go out to plan. But 3rd place is an absolutely welcome return for him. And I think he will finish somewhere around maybe 3rd in the championship, depending on how the results go.
Yeah, so there's confirmation of the results so far, barring penalties. Olivera got fastest lap, but Matrillo, race winner, also had pole position, so he would have scored 30 points from race 1. Olivera, I think, would be, he would have finished 13th. Third, so yeah, I think within a point or two that gives Matrillo the title.
Yep,
provisionally. A lot more than can obviously still happen. This is a reverse grid race left. There's one more race in the Copper class. We reverse the front half of the field, and so Matrillo and Olivera and Peter Dutoit will start somewhere in the middle of those cars at the moment.
Yep. That is, I think, Regal Dutoit, because he was 16th just now. Actually, now there's a car that looks almost like Murugan's car, but it is not. I think by your count, it is actually Regal Dutoit. There we go. It is Regal Dutoit who's on pole position. He finished 16th. He will now lead the field coming to turn 1 as the red lights go out, and we are off here for the final time in Copper class. It's a good start here for Regal Dutoit. Ahmad there right up to second. I don't know what happened to him. I think he was up to 5th at one point. He dropped back, well back actually, to 15th. But nonetheless, it's Regal Dutoit who takes the lead coming to the final time here at Indianapolis. He gets attacked from Ahmad, but he holds on to it.
Yeah, this is real Ahmad. I think that's the uncle. They've got the brothers and nephews all racing this championship from the Ahmad family. There was a tap, the contact, but both cars survived. But he's run a bit wide. And that's Janelli Cruz slipping down the inside from the Philippines. So Janelli Cruz, and who's that that's just gone off?
I think that might have been Ranger Rover.
Ah, yes, the Australian. He's off, unfortunately for him. But Rigo Dutoit, the brother of Peter Dutoit, who had such a good job in race 1 to finish P2. Yeah, he's up in the lead right now.
And we got one driver that just disappeared there. I think he might have been disqualified. So a bit of RG-bargy as per usual in the reverse great race. But nonetheless, we're looking here at Regal Dutoit, one of the Vietnamese drivers. 2 of them, in fact. The other one's his brother. He leads the way here. But second is the championship contender, Janelli Cruz. But I think we can safely say provisionally that is now thrown out the window. So the best he can hope for as a consolation is to win the reverse great race to finish off the season on a high.
Yeah. So, in the middle of the pack now, we big battle here between Sri Murugan and Azmi Arifin as well. And just behind them, Francis Matrillo, the championship winner, I'm going to call him the winner at the moment, because even really, if he is still, Olivera still mathematically has a chance of winning it. He'd have to win the race and take fastest lap, and he looks like he's very far away from that. I can see Olivera is just behind, 2 places behind Matrillo. Oh, there's contact between the 2 drivers here, the front between Murugan and Asmi. Arjuna Santa in the white car is just behind them as well, and but he's got Matrillo all over the back of him.
Yeah, but Arjuna Santa actually just got his positions nicked. He lost 2 and 1, and with 2 similarly colored cars, so he might have been thinking that he was seeing things to see 2 same cars overtake him on the inside. But he's dropped the 9th as a bit of a contact there as we cut away now back to the lead of the race.
Wow, so Rigo de Trois lost his lead. Janelli Cruz has managed to slip under and take the lead off camera. So Janelli Cruz now leads the race. Can Rigo de Trois fight back? He has been quick on occasion this year, Amo. What do you think?
I think he could actually be a solid top 10 driver, just like his brother Peter. In fact, both of them ganging up together will be a very, very lethal combo. But I don't know which one is the older or younger, because they pretty much have not given us too much info about themselves. But I think they could literally be challengers for the top 10 next season. We have I think we have another season coming up for sure, Alex. Yeah. But yeah, they're solid drivers.
Yeah, for sure we'll have another season coming up. So that Rigo looks to the outside and surprised, maybe will he sell him a dummy and try down for the inside? No, he seems to be happy on the outside. Rigo de Trois is on the inside. He's made the move. I got my cars confused for a second there. And I'm so surprised Cruz didn't try to defend it to turn 1.
Yeah, in fact, Dutoit actually got into the inside well ahead before coming to turn 1. So it might be a bit of gamesmanship, or he thought like, yeah, championship's gone, let's have a bit of a race of it. It might just be the latter, because right now Cruz is not being lost by Dutoit there, and he just let him by so easily. So this might just be a bit of fun at the end of the season.
I'll tell you who's doing a great job though. It's his brother, Peter Dutoit. He started back in, I think, 13th position or 14th position, and he's all the way up to P3. And if he keeps going like this, he's a super aggressive driver. We've seen some aggressive driving from him in the past, and that aggressiveness over those first few laps has certainly paid off.
Yep, it pays to be a bit of a doggy driver. We can put that in the phrase, like a pit bull, a terrier, a driver who's just raring to go, and he's shown there his instinct to go through the field and overtake everybody possible, and taking advantage of incidents. And look at that, he's joining his brother on the podium.
Yeah, and there's still a long way to go, over 10 minutes to go. Who knows, maybe it's 3 seconds behind, but if the front 2 keep scrapping in front of him, might allow him to get into a fight for the win.
Yep, and he's broken away with the slipstream too, by the way. Yes, you can say that the slipstream can be still strong with the fact that we're on an oval, and it could easily be a 2-second cut could easily be just under a second by the time we reach the end of the straight. But he could just pull away, because look at that. Murugan is in the center of a sandwich of Matrillo and Daniel Ryan. Oy on the outside, Murugan in the middle, and on the inside is Matrillo, and he forces his way by, barges by Murugan, and Murugan there could have easily been up to 4th, is now back to 6th.
Wow, great move by Matrillo. So he's now up to P4. This, I think, would be a great battle, because Matrillo now closing in on Peter Dutoit. And Peter looks like he's got run a little bit wide there. You see the car's lagging still just a little bit. Will he cover the inside? He does. I'm not really sure if Matrillo wants to try and go down the inside. Oh, he can, though. Peter getting too wide the apex now through this right-hander. Who can get the better exit onto the back straight?
And it looks like it could be Dutoit, because Dutoit got a better line there, but Matrillo does have the slipstream. It says he's 3rd, but he's actually still 4th. It could be a premonition. He could be up to 3rd by the time we come around to the middle section here. No.
Wow.
Dutoit. Wow.
Dutoit just sweeps around the outside, says, I'm not giving you that position. You'll have to work for it. And so it carries on now through what is effectively the last corner of this lap. All of them super wide at the exit there, and Dutoit seems to be surviving for another day. Has a really good exit out of that corner.
Yep, and the gap's about 4/10, so Matrillo might not be close enough coming into the first corner. He is in the slipstream. He could be very close by the time we reach the first corner, but he needs to have an absolute lunge to actually get up to 3rd right now. Because look at that. This is an absolutely ding-dong battle. In fact, up in front, we still have a battle between Dutoit and Cruz as well. So the battles all around the grid. Look at it. There's the lunge. I said there's gonna be a lunge, and there it is. What a lunge there from Matrillo. He's up to 3rd. He caught Dutoit absolutely napping there, and he's now on the podium position, starting well at the back.
Yeah. What a move. It's so hard to lunge from that far back. You got to get absolutely everything perfect, and he did. Didn't snatch a break, was able to turn in and rotate the car. Could easily have just gone straight into the side of Dutoit, but both drivers doing a good job of giving each other racing room.
Yep. And well, you might say that, well, Dutoit might have defended better, but that was still full commitment from Matrillo to get that move done. As we now go back to the front of the grid, Dutoit, the other Dutoit, who's fighting against another Filipino, so it's a bit of a deja vu between the two Dutoit brothers. One just got his position nicked, and the other one is still defending for his life here out in front. Yeah,
so good battle. We'll come back to this battle at the back then. Good battles a little bit further back. Razdan Razamri there having a good fight with Azmi Arafin. Arafin was further up earlier on, but he's obviously slipped back. Had a messy couple laps, not able to quite do it. But let's go back to the front. Rigo Dutoit, he's got Janelli Cruz firmly in the slipstream. He's going to pull out of the slipstream, goes down the inside. And Dutoit again, not defending to turn one.
Nope. Looks like he just wants to concede position because he knows he has probably enough good race pace, but that 141 that time around might just be a mistake because we saw in qualifying he's in the 130s, so something might have happened to the timing screens, but whatever. Dutoit there, not bothered to defend, but I think he knows the fact that he could just stay close. The slipstream is powerful enough for him to get back into the lead by the next lap.
That could be the strategy. Oof, coming into this left-hander here, the cars are separated by pretty much nothing. There's almost no daylight between the fenders. Oh, runs a bit wide on the entry into this right-hander, and that's allowing Cruz to pull a small gap down the back straight.
Yeah, he didn't get a good exit that time around, but luckily for him, he's within that 2 to 3/10 window of getting the slipstream. As Matrillo, there he's slightly ahead of Dutoit now. I think Dutoit doesn't have the opportunity to fight back. This is another battle we could be looking forward to. It's between Daniel Ren-Oy and Shri Murugan. Murugan, we also saw just now how Matrillo and him tried to overtake Ren-Oy, but Murugan was the one that lost out big time. He could probably try to come back at him here to finish 5th in the final race of the season, which would be good for him. As we also look back to Tiago Olivera, who might as well, I think by our calculations, he is confirmed 3rd because he finished 3rd in the first race. He could actually be 3rd by the end of the championship.
Yeah. So, I think, Olivera is probably going to be 2nd by the end of the championship because Arate, well, no, you're right, Cruz is back in the front, isn't it? So Cruz might pick up some good points as well. It'll be very close, but yes, Cruz holding off the lead at the moment. He's going to try and get back into the top 3 of the championship, and this is exactly the way he had to do it after having a poor race 1.
Indeed. And for him to start all the way up to the front there is a testament to how much of a difficult race that he had last night around. But for him, he can see the light at the end of the tunnel. He's having a good reverse grid race. He's definitely going to be right up there in the top 3 at least, if everything goes pear-shaped. It's a good consolation for him, for sure.
Yeah, and I think because Arate is going to get a ban as well for taking part in qualifying. He's not had the pace anyway. He's right at the back right now. So Arate, I think, is going to fall out of the top 3. Cruz, still 4.5 minutes to go. Cruz still needs to make sure he gets a win. Oh, Dutoit! What happened there? Rigo Dutoit had a big moment in 2nd position, and that's allowed Matrillo to really close that gap.
Massive moment. He just touched the inside of the curb there, coming through the Mickey Mouse section. We call it Mickey Mouse because due to the fact that it just crosses over itself, looking like a pair of Mickey Mouse ears. He just touched the grass a bit, went for a big opposite lock, but luckily he held it. But unfortunately for him now, right behind us, you can see the flashing lights from Matrillo. Matrillo is right in his sights. He will definitely try to get it coming to the first corner, but Rigo Dutoit will hold to the inside. Again, this time he actually defends the position. But it might just be too little too late. Look at that. Dutoit around the inside. Matrillo on the outside. Matrillo has the line coming in. Oh, they just touched each other coming to turn 2. Rallycross style for Matrillo. But it's Dutoit who holds on. So it was just proved enough for him to hold on a second. Unless Matrillo can get him here. No. Matrillo then just got blocked off by Dutoit. And Dutoit somehow manages to hold on a second after that big mistake.
Wow, some great racing here. Matrillo now looking down the inside. Oh, Dutoit, I don't know why he didn't cover the inside for that corner. He had done all the hard work, done some excellent racecraft, and then just opens the door for Matrillo to come down the inside. It's almost like he's saying, after you, mate. Very strange decision indeed. So now Dutoit back to third.
And speaking of the other Dutoit, his brother Peter, we have lost him. Apparently he is also out of the race because of either disqualification from hitting someone or he just cut the track. But whatever it is, what looked like a promising podium for both brothers has now left with only one brother on the podium. So not a good end to the season for one of the Dutoit brothers.
Yeah, no, but that's the Dutoit brothers, aren't they? I mean, they're up and down like yo-yos quite often. Very quick one moment, bit fragile maybe, make a mistake, and then they're back down again. And Rigo, I was kind of secretly hoping he'd win his first race with us, because he was driving very well. But at the moment, Janelli Cruz, this is the man on a mission. He is winning this race. Francis Matrillo, his country mate and also teammate, and will be Copper Class champion in second position.
Yep. There's no. Ooh, that was a lockup there from Regal, and in fact, yet another mistake that could have easily ended the race. It didn't end his race right now, but that just ended any hopes of finishing higher than third, which is still good for him, though. By the way, a place on the rostrum is something that he could just take to and say, "Yep, I can improve on that next season." It's a good way to end the season.
Yeah, it's good. Both the Dutoit brothers had some really good racing. Let's look a bit further back. Fourth position, Daniel Uy. Naufal Ahmad in fifth position. Cedric Arate in sixth. But he's having a great battle with Murugan. Murugan all over the back of him, trying to... contact!
And Arate's out.
He's out.
That was immediate. The game just literally kicked him out immediately. It's like, nope, you did too much contact there, you're out. And one might argue that Murugan might have been the contributor to that. In fact, Murugan's also out.
You're right. Both drivers, they must have been having a lot of contact. They've gone over the incident points, and they are now out of the race. Wow, but look at this. Matrillo, he's putting in some quick laps at the moment, flashing his lights on the leader. Cruz, who is leading at the moment, is trying to intimidate him. As there's one more lap after this lap to go. Could he possibly do it?
Yeah, he could do the double here and possibly get the fastest lap, because last time it was Thiago Olivera who got it. He's nowhere in this race. He's only 11th right now. So there's a possibility that he could get the double and at least one fastest lap. It's not a full sweep of the weekend, but he will love to end his championship campaign on an absolute high.
Oof. Cruz defends the inside. It's very crucial. He doesn't make a mistake. Looks okay. He's looking down the inside here as well. Gotta defend the inside here. That's a smart thing to do. Make sure you get a good exit. Oh, but look at that. Matrillo still having a great exit. Now Cruz has to be careful. He doesn't want to leave the space on the inside. He doesn't. Matrillo's not close enough at the moment. I think Cruz, he's done these last couple of corners perfectly, really. Needs to focus on a good exit here, and he has. He's got a small gap to Matrillo. Matrillo does try and use a bit of the excess roads. Must have some incident points left in his wallet. And in the moment, Cruz hangs on.
I don't know why he's flashing at us for. He knows probably that he's on camera right now, but there's no one right in front of him. But yeah, he could spare a few incident points here to have a bit of a collision in the final few corners, which I think he will not have any, because this is just a straight shot all the way to the line. It's gonna be a photo finish if Cruz can somehow, if Matrillo can somehow get into the slipstream, but it's not enough. Cruz just holds on to claim victory here.
Wow, well done, Janelli Cruz. He is going to hold on as he comes through the last corner of the bank corner, the turn one on the oval, the last corner on the road course. And there he is. He picks up his win. His teammate and countryman and new Copper Class champion, Francis Matrillo, finishes in second. Rigo Dutoit in third. Daniel Uy will come home in fourth. Naufal Ahmad in fifth. And Kelvin Powell, wow, he's in sixth position. He's leading over Iko Ahmad, the dad of the family, as they come across the line now. He'll be happy with that. Sixth position, great job there. As some of the drivers celebrating a little bit further up. But yes, Janelli Cruz, great win, but we have to focus on Matrillo. He is our new Copper Class champion. Really, really good job. Well done. Winner of race 1 in round 6, and then finished second in race 2. And in the end, runs out a comfortable champion.
Indeed. And the fact that you could not have gone any better for Matrillo in this final round. We know that the gaps were close in the actual standings and in the drop scores. He just had to have that perfect weekend, and he could have wished for a better one.
Yeah.
He finished first in the first race, second in the second race, I think he got fastest lap here too.
Yeah.
It was almost a clean sweep. It could not have gone any better for the driver to win the championship.
And we're looking at Thiago Olivera. I think he finishes second in the championship. Didn't quite have the pace today to take it to the championship leader, but still a good job. And of course, race 2 winner Janelli Cruz. I think he'll actually finish third in the championship. He should pip Arate. Arate obviously had a disaster. He had that qualifying ban coming in. He took part in qualifying, so he will have even the points picked up in race 1. He didn't have the pace anyway, so even without the qualifying ban, I don't think he had the pace today to have challenged Matrillo for the championship.
And as the final result of the season, as his AI goes for a spin at the oval.
There we go, Cruz, confirmation of the results. You're right, Matrillo with fastest lap as well to rub salt in the wounds of his championship rivals. Rigo de Toile hangs on for third, Reino fourth, Akman in fifth, Pau in sixth, Iko Akman in seventh, Azmi Arifin actually recovers quite well for eighth, and Kalam in ninth, and Thiago Olivera from New Zealand in 10th. Yeah, would struggle to get through the field in the end, and he'll finish second in the championship. Okay, so that's the Copper class done and dusted. Some exciting racing there. What's your takeaways, do you think, from the racing we've seen today so far?
Very intense, very exciting. That's all I can say, because we get it in abundance here, because there's so many drivers who are new into the championship, new into sim racing even, and they want to prove themselves. So we get this kind of mixed bag of racing. Sometimes it could be clean, sometimes it could just be chaotic. But today, we saw most of them were well behaved, apart from a few incidents that got disqualified. Yeah. But nonetheless, it's been a great season for the Copper class. They're proving us that they can race. And we'll hope to see some of them in bronze next season. Yeah, definitely. I think Francis Matrillo, our new Copper championship, he'll definitely be in bronze next season. So I hope he keeps practicing hard. That's Copper class for now. We're going to take a small break now, and we'll be back with the bronze class in just a moment.
Things to be aware of organizing eRacing Championship without race room. First, no automated leaderboard would always be labor intensive. Elimination round would be the only way to filter the winners. Having the participants adhering to the schedule would be a huge test. We need to know the task will get bigger when participants increases. Time consuming. Organizing eRacing Championship without race room, it's all need run manually to take down the participants and eliminate them from first round group to final round group. Because it is manual human labor, there bound to be human error. Manual human labor would have a price tag for the man hours involved. New participants would never have chance. The eRacing clubs in the world will send their best racers to participate the race. But that means your championship exposure is just limited to the eRacing clubs. Why choose race room? R3E Official Championship have fully automated leaderboard. Participants can log in anytime to leave the fastest lap time within the qualifying period. Each of the racers already have their ranks with Race Room. Next, save time. You can have unlimited amounts of participants in a super short time to qualifying them to final race. Race Room can cover unlimited amount of participants. We have a full automated esports ecosystem from qualifying leaderboard to broadcast AI. Besides, Race Room's free contents lets everyone can participate to the race.